charged my battery in the camera, so this should work out okay. Oh, man. Why do I always act like I'm eating something while vlogging? I have no idea. Sound right. There's a police officer. How you doing, officer? Officer. Oh man. Anyways, it's the middle of the week. I've had the bike for like 10 days. Did my first oil change. And then after I did my first oil change, you know, I went to a dealer to buy a filter. It was like 15 bucks. You can get the bike specific ones for 10 online. I'm like, yeah, I gotta get it done. I'll have to do an oil change the next day. But, then I found out this thing takes the same oil filters as my car. So now I can get them online for $6, and they're black still. So, that's awesome. And cheap. Yeah, oil change. I also switched the position of the shifter and the rear brake. I brought them down because I'm taller, so the angle on my foot is going to be different than most people. Okay, people. Don't kill me. And I bought bar end mirrors, except it turns out the ones that, you know, they have FC1 listed on the compatible bikes, well, they won't work. I have to take my bar ends to a machine shop, have the center drilled out, put a bigger bolt in it so I can attach the bar end mirrors. The reason I wanted to do that, I would have just returned them if, you know, these ones actually worked, but my shoulders are too big, so I can't actually see anything, so they're useless anyway. And I'd like mirrors, because mirrors are useful sometimes. Yeah. Anyway, oil. I was going to talk about oil. You guys can hate me all you want for the kind of oil I use, but I use Rotella T6. It's a fully synthetic diesel truck oil, and I use it because it's wet clutch rated. It doesn't have the friction modifiers of a normal car oil, so it'll be fine, and it's a fully synthetic, so it just helps. I'm going to change it at the suggested factory intervals, or a little earlier because I'm paranoid and it's cheap. But it's a 5W40 oil compared to what Yamaha suggests, a 20W40. And in case you didn't know, the second number in that is the viscosity once it's hot. The first number is the viscosity of the oil when it's cold. So it's going to be a 5-way when it's cold, so it's going to lubricate better when the engine's cold, but it's going to be the same when it's hot. But you can only have such a big gap, you know, between the 5 and the 40 as compared to 20 and 40 on a synthetic, because they don't shear as much, and a motorcycle with the clutch and everything will shear oil quicker because it's beating on it harder instead of a normal car engine where it doesn't have to go through the transmission and everything. So synthetic will be able to hold its viscosity and not shear with a wider range and viscosities, more so than you would with a conventional oil. It's the same oil I use in my car too, so that's going to make oil change supplies really easy to get. Just buy a couple of filters and a bunch of oil and I can do both. So I should probably pass this guy because he's going slow as crap-a-doodle. Video too, so it's just like it might cut somewhere, but if I have random thoughts in between finding a parking lot I like, yeah. Also, I am doing 2 videos within 2 weeks. rainy out lately, so that's why I haven't been doing too many videos. Outside, pick a line, even though I'm going slow as crap. I don't know how long this season is going to last anymore. It's getting colder and colder out. As you can see, the amazing fall colors, it's sunny out. I don't know how well this camera is going to pick stuff up, but it's a lot of fun. Or it's beautiful, I should say. Not really a lot of fun. But, you know, it's like sunny and above 50, so it's a good day in the middle of October here. Windshield here hits me like just above nipple height, and then just blasts everything right up into my helmet. So I typically wear earplugs, but I will probably be getting a new helmet over the winter. But for now, I'm kind of tight on money with school and everything. Us an actual bridge over the Grand River. It's a river that splits our county, except up until that, there's only been 3 bridges that cross it. And they're like 20 miles apart. It's retarded. Oh well. Not like I care. I don't have to cross it for school or work or anything. Why I bought this bike, what made me choose this and whatever. Because, you know, I just wanted a road bike. It doesn't have to be any kind of road bike. But then I'm like, I remember Lava Goose had a Bandit or whatever, 600 or whatever. I'm like, okay, that's going to be too small because I'm a huge guy. 250 pounds, 6'4". Yeah. I could have used it, but I wanted something bigger. So I just typed in Bandit on Craigslist. I found that they made a Bandit 1200. I'm like, oh, that'll work. Or that could work, you know, but it's an air-cooled with an oil cooler, and I'm like, Here's not a bad bike, but, you know, I wanted more options because there weren't many on Craigslist, and this time of year there's never anything on Craigslist, which makes me surprised. We sold our dirt bikes within 6 days. More than we paid for them in the spring, but that's not the point. So what I did is I took Bandit 1200S, because that's what I was looking at. It was a half-fared version of a Bandit 1200. And then I put in Bandit 1200S versus into Craigslist, or Google. Hit enter, and it came up with, you know, versus CB919 versus ZRX 1200 versus FZ1. I'm like, oh, okay. So I opened the threads. It was actually on Adventure Rider. And I'm looking, and I see, you know, FZ1, so I searched that, and I'm like, whoa, those are in my price range. They're like, sweet. Started doing more research, find out they have, you know, a more modern engine, just more modern technology all the way through. And then I went on this sweet site called Cycle Ergo, or Ergo, whatever. It tells you, you put in your height, you can adjust like where the pegs and the handlebars are for a certain bike, but you put your height and your inseam in, and it'll tell you your forward lean angle, your knee angle, your hip angle, all that stuff for any given bike. And this was about the same as the Bandit. I was also looking at a SV1000S, which was, you know, just a 1000 version of an SV650 with a half fairing. And they're more of an aggressive position, and I didn't want that aggressive of a riding position, so I just went for this. I was actually looking for this and the Bandit at the same time, but I found a better deal on this versus the Bandit. But we ended up driving over 200 miles to the other side of Chicago, which if you put it in Grand Haven in Google Maps, you'll see where the town I live in, and you'll know that that was a long drive. But we went, the guy was asking $3 grand. This is the only thing I've never actually haggled on. I always haggle on prices, but I never haggled on this. back, even I'll explain this or show you in the walk around I'm gonna do, but the back tail fender, if you know, like on sport bikes and sport touring bikes, they have that plastic piece that drops below the license plate because they don't actually have a fender. The laws require them to be only so high above the axle or whatever the crap it is. But that wasn't even touched. I mean, this is a 2002 FC1 with 11,000 miles on it. The guy put less than 900 miles a year on this thing. So, it has newer tires. I think they have like, the guy said 1,500 miles, but they're probably Angel GT tires. They're a longer mileage sport touring tire, but they're good. I haven't had an issue with grip, except when I was test riding. I was test riding in Illinois. It was some back roads though, like an industrial complex with this guy. It was a shop that I bought it from that was selling it on commission for one of their customers, but the shop did all the service. Yeah, it was weird. But anyway, I was test riding it, and some jackwing, I had my high beams on, because I always ride on my high beams, but some jackwing pulls out in front of me. We don't get on the brakes, but I'm not used to the bike at all. I'm just like, it was my first test ride of it. Hit the back brake a little too hard. I slide the back end out a little. I mean, I got like 30 degrees of slide angle on this thing. And I was able to keep it up, which was surprising, but it scared the crap out of me. Not that it's happened again. Also, yeah, once I got used to the brakes though, it's not going to happen as dearly. It's just I hit the back brake too much while hitting the front brake, and it de-weighted the back tire, and